Alright, in this video we're going to look at how to solve quadratics using the method of factorizing. So basically this method is based on the fact that so it's based on the fact that if you have got two numbers m and n, and you are told that m and n multiply to give 0, this implies that either m is 0 or n is 0, or both of them are equal to 0, which is also included in the statement here, because or is a union. So in the case of quadratic equations, so the idea is to write the equation as something times another thing equal to 0, and then from there we can solve the equation. So the steps in solving a quadratic equation will be as follows. So first we are going to bring everything to the same side. Okay, so we're going to write the equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So if some of the terms are on the other side of the equation, we need to bring all of them to the same side. Then after that we factorize, and then once we've factorized, we can solve the equation. Something that is going to be useful for all equations is that if time is permitting, then always check your answer, because this is a property of equations which is very useful, because with equations you can always check your answer. So if you are writing an exam or a test, then that is going to be a useful thing to do, so that you don't submit something that is obviously wrong. Okay, suppose we have got x squared minus 3x is equal to 10. We want to solve this. So of course the first thing I want to do is we're going to bring everything to the same side. So we're going to bring 10 to the left hand side, so it's going to be x squared minus 3x minus 10. Then to factorize this, we're going to have to look for two numbers that multiply to give negative 10 and add to give negative 3. So the fact that it's negative 10 means those numbers will have opposite signs, so that's why I put plus and minus there. And then they add up to give negative 3. It means the bigger one is going to be negative. So this is going to be 5 here, and that's going to be 2 there. If you want to freshen up on how to factorize quadratics, you can have a look at we've got 2 videos that handle that topic. Now so once we have got the equation like this now, so it's in this form. So we've got one thing times another thing equal to 0. So the two things here, if you like, are these ones here. So the implication from that is either this one thing is equal to 0 or this other thing is equal to 0. However, if this one thing is equal to 0, then x is negative 2. This other thing is equal to 0, x is 5. All right, well, let's check. So if x is negative 2, if we plug in negative 2 here and there, so we're going to have negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. This is 6. So this is going to be 10. So that is correct. For the other one, if x is 5, we're going to have 5 squared minus 3 times 5. 5 squared is 25. 3 times 5 is 15. This is, so both of them are correct straight away. All right, in example number B, imagine that we have x into x plus 5 is equal to 14. So again, we're going to have to bring everything to the same side, and we're going to have to remove this bracket. So we're going to have x squared plus 5x minus 14 equal to 0. Then again we factorize. Since this is negative, one will be plus, the other one will be minus. The bigger one is going to be plus, so 7 goes there and 2 goes there. Then what this implies is that either x plus 7 is 0 or x minus 2 is 0. So that means either x is negative 7 or x is equal to 2. So those are our two solutions. In example number C, suppose we've got 10 plus 3x minus 4x squared. Now this time, since we have got an equation, we want this term to be positive. So we can either take all the terms to the other side, or we can simply multiply everything by negative 1. Let's take everything to the other side. So we're going to have 0 equal to 4x squared minus 3x minus 10. Then we factorize this. We have got to look for two numbers that multiply to give negative 40 and add to negative 3. So mn is negative 40, m plus n is negative 3. Okay, well, those two numbers are going to be negative 8 and 5. So we're going to have 4x minus 8 here and 4x plus 5 there. If we take 4 to the other side, then this thing is going to be equal to 0 equal to 4x minus 8, 4x plus 5. Then either 4x minus 8 is 0 or 4x plus 5 is 0. From this one, x is going to be 8 over 4, which is 2. This one is going to be give us x is negative 5 over 4. Again, these we can check by plugging into the equation. Okay, one more example. This is going to be example number D. Suppose this time we've got 12u squared plus 5 is equal to 16u. If we bring everything to the same side, we're going to have 12u squared minus 16u plus 5 equal to 0. Then we are going to have to look for two numbers. They are going to need to multiply to 12 times 5 is 60. So two numbers that multiply to 60 and add to negative 16. Okay, I think this time we can find those numbers easily. It's going to be 10 and 6. So m times n is 60. So they both have the same sign. M plus n is negative 16. So they are both negative. So it's negative 10 and negative 6. If we move this 12 to the other side, yeah, we can either do that or we can just factorize this as we did. Maybe let's factorize this time in case people are complaining or wondering why we're doing things differently. It's just that when you've got equations, the algebraic manipulations that you can do, you know, are more than when you have an algebraic expression. So here the common factor is going to be 2. So we factorize 2 here. Going to have 6u minus 5. Factorize 6 there. Going to have 2u minus 1 all divided by 12. Then 6 times 2 cancels out with 12. So that means either we've got 6u minus 5 equal to 0 or 2u minus 1 equal to 0. This one gives us u is 5 over 6, and this one gives us u is 1/2. All right, let's give you 2 to try. Actually, maybe more than 2, and then you can pause the video and have a go at them. So that was example number D. E, please have a go at u squared minus 2 minus 3 equal to 0. F, x minus 3, x plus 2 equal to 6. G, 3 is equal to 8v squared minus 10v. H, u plus 2 is equals to 6u squared. So just have a go at those ones, pause the video, and then we will show you our answers in what follows. All right, so for E, everything is on the... Okay, so factorizing here, get u plus 1 into u minus 3, and then solving ultimately gives us u is negative 1 or u is 3. Here we have got 6 on the right hand side, so we need to bring the 6 to the left hand side and then expand the brackets here. So that's going to ultimately work out to x squared minus x minus 12, which we can now factorize to x minus 4 into x plus 3. And so the solutions are going to be 4 and negative 3. Here, if we bring the 3 to the right hand side, then we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 24 and add up to negative 10. It's minus 12 and 2. So we plug these here and factorize, and so the solution becomes 3/2 and negative 1 over 4. Same scenario here. If we bring everything to the same side, then we need two numbers that multiply to give negative 12, have a difference of 1. The negative should be bigger, so it's going to be negative 4 and 3. factorize and solve gives us 2/3 and minus 1/4. All right.